So TLDR, before I even read it, Splitgate unreleased and went back to beta. How does that even happen? One, couldn't tell you. Two, the Splitgate community. We believe in Splitgate 2. This game means everything to us. It's been our life for almost 10 years, starting in our dorm room, and we're more committed than ever to delivering the incredible experience you deserve. We've heard your feedback and we agree with you. We launched too early. We had ambitious goals with Splitgate 2, and our excitement to share it with you, we bit off more than we could chew. We rushed certain features, made some boneheaded mistakes, and most importantly, we didn't give you the polished, portal-filled mayhem you fell in love with. Agreed on every front, and I can't even explain to you in so many ways. One, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm surprised Splitgate 2 even exists because Splitgate 1 failed. How did they generate the revenue and the funding to revive the game? Couldn't tell you. Second, I worked with them for a sponsored stream and a sponsored video, and they kind of jerked my chain a little bit because I was very busy around the time. I was like, hey, I'm down to do one. Can I do it around this time? They're like, sure, absolutely, locked in the deal. And then they came back and told me, oh, can you change it to this other day? And I was like, well, that's going to be a tough one for me, but I'll make it work, sure. And so I changed it to a different day by their request, and then they canceled it on me and went, no, we can't do that day anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I already told you an original day. Like, can we not, like, you just reschedule it on me and then cancel it? Like, I kind of move things around to accommodate for you, and I only accepted it because I had room that day. Okay, when do you want to move it to? So then they asked me to move it to like another week, and I was like, I can't do that. I was like, listen, like, can we go back to the original day potentially? And they were like, no. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't do this then, sorry. And then they came back, we're like, oh no, we can do that day. And I was like, okay, fine. So I did the sponsorship with them. The game was okay. It wasn't anything I was super blown away with. And I got an offer actually to do an additional 4 streams, and I declined because I didn't have that much fun with the game. And I didn't feel like I wanted to just phone it in for 4 sponsored streams if I wasn't enjoying the game. Like, I did one for Mecha Break. Even Mecha Break maybe isn't going to be like a super names or household name game. It was fun. I actually enjoyed my time with it, so I took multiple. But I declined the Splitgate one. I came to find out the reason why they moved it to the next week, or they were trying to move my sponsor stream for the next week, was because they were going to release that BR mode, but they didn't want to say anything. Meanwhile, we had to sign, like, you sign documents basically, and you're not going to leak anything. Like, not like a full NDA, I guess, but it's more like we're basically saying until this thing, you're not going to say you're going to talk or play it or any of the features that are coming with the game. Okay, sure. So I was like, well, if you have like this big thing dropping, why wouldn't you tell me? It was implied that it was going to be the exact same game, but just making the timing a lot harder. Even with that, it was a little interesting, but I didn't have that much fun with the game. The gunplay felt pretty good. The movement felt okay. I don't know, the portals thing just didn't do it for me that much, which is the whole shtick of the game. Anyways, let's keep reading. So we're going back to beta. We'll be heads down until early next year, rebuilding major parts of the game to capture the spirit of what made Splitgate special. That means reworking progression from the ground up, adding more portals to our maps, simplifying monetization, refocusing on classic modes you've been asking for, and more, which we'll share soon. I think this is a very desperate attempt to save it because they know there's not going to be a Splitgate 3. This is obviously, unfortunately, a very desperate attempt. And at least in my opinion, the reason why I think a lot of people are turned off by Splitgate are 3 things. One, people are tired of the same generic BR, right? Like, they tried to be Halo, but they're not Halo. They don't have the story of Halo. And I feel like even people that try to recreate Halo don't understand the reason why people loved Halo so much was because of the nostalgia of what Halo 1, 2, 3, and then later into ODST Reach was, the story that connected you to the game. These games don't have that. They're just trying to recreate the online multiplayer. 2, the CEO. The CEO kind of just, unfortunately, in my personal vibe, kind of felt like he was just trying to preach or trying to pander to Reddit users when they went on stage during the Game Awards and was like, you're tired of those other games, bring Titanfall 3, like all this other stuff, and then was like, here's a BR, and it was just like, what? That just feels like kind of the same things. The weird hat too. Yeah, I think the weird hat threw a lot of people off as well, especially right now. And it just felt kind of, I don't know, off. Not the time for it. And 3, there's just so much saturation in the market of gaming at this point where you really need to be something different to stand out. And I think that's why a lot of indie games are popping off now. a lot of indie games that understand that they're not going to be able to recreate Overwatch. They're not going to recreate Valorant. They're not going to recreate Apex, right? They're not going to do it. There was a study, I wish I still had it. There's a study that found that like 40% of gamers currently still, like, they go, whenever they play new games, always go back to, I think the 3 games were Roblox, Fortnite, and GTA 5. It's like 40% of gamers are in those 3 games alone because they go try other stuff and they immediately go back every time. And that's a habit of most gamers, where they have like a main game and they go play something else and they go back to their main game. And they go play something else and they go back to their main game. Then they go somewhere else and then they go back to their main game. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things there that I think at least play into that, but let's keep reading. Now more than ever, we need your help. We're returning not only our roots that we built, but in how we built it with you. That means more playtests, more surveys, more listening, and truly being community first. Our goal is to combine the DNA of the first game with the best improvements of the second. Rebuilding the core experience isn't a quick fix, it's a long-term commitment. To give ourselves the time to build the Splitgate you deserve, we've made the incredibly difficult decision to reduce certain roles and shift our resources to focus on this rework. This is heartbreaking. These are our teammates and fellow friends, and they helped build what we have today. Wait, what? So they laid people off, right? Isn't that what that says? We just had the difficult decision to reduce certain roles and shift our resources to focus on this rework. Oh, so they laid people off. Oh, fantastic. That's sarcasm, by the way, if you didn't pick up on that. They're receiving severance and job placement support, and we're committed to doing everything we can to help them through this transition. We're hoping to bring them back when we can. In an effort to retain as many team members as possible, we're also going to be shutting down OG Splitgate servers in a month. While we'd love to keep those servers online indefinitely, it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past couple of years, and we have to prioritize our team. Like us, we know this game means a lot to so many of you, and so we are exploring the possibility of supporting offline or peer-to-peer matches, and when we return, we will plan to have a dedicated experience in Splitgate 2 that delivers on the promise of the original. In the meantime, Splitgate 2 will remain playable and still be shipping Chapter 3, as well as fixes and high-priority changes. We hope you will continue to play and support the game, and as always, please keep the feedback coming. We faced a lot of dark days and have made so many mistakes, but we've learned a lot and are as determined as ever to make Splitgate as great as possible. Splitgate has been our life for 10 years and wouldn't have had it any other way. We've got work to do, but we aren't giving up. We love this game, we love this community, and too much to ever quit, so we won't. See you in the arena, Ian and Nicholas. So, yeah, I feel like it's giving bankrupt soon. I'm not 100% sure on this. I remember reading this somewhere like 2 years ago, but when Splitgate 2 got announced, like they were gonna do something with it, like trying to like revive it, is like I think a lot of their funding for this game came like they basically got a series of investor funding. They basically sold people on the idea that this game was really good and just needed a little bit more oomph, and Splitgate 2 would have went crazy. Not 100% on that one, so don't quote me on it. I have to look into it a little more. But I didn't even know it's possible to unrelease a game. Is there ever a game that's been unreleased before? Like they release it and then they put it back in beta? And I don't mean just closing. I'm not talking like Concord. I mean like Multiverse. Wasn't Multiverse just gone? Wait, did Multiverse go back into beta, then re-release and then die? Is that what happened? Or is it still around? Oh, it did. Maybe that's a little bit of a what's the word? Forewarning. A little bit of a canary in the coal mine, potentially, that releasing a game, it falls on its face, putting it back into beta and then trying to re-release it might not work. Unfortunately, though, I think that Splitgate has just really tanked its image with a lot of people. Splitgate 1 was not that great. It just felt like Portal. It was just people were like, yeah, it's just Portal with guns. Splitgate 1 or 2, I think it was 2. I remember when they did some event where they basically invited creators to go play test it early, like a year ago. I actually got invited to that. I didn't go. Someone posted a clip dump on Twitter of all of their kills and movement that they did, like a bunch of movement text. And I remember the top reply was like, this is the most like jobless behavior I've ever seen. Like, this sucks. And I remember it sparked a big controversy of people being like, when did people being good at games become cringe? But they kind of had a point where this game was not going to be playable by most people. The amount of text and little movement abilities and portal stuff was just so confusing, and it's not a cool shtick. It was like, okay. Gunplay felt good. movement was okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if Splitgate doesn't really go anywhere, even if they come back after beta. They'll probably have another big release where they try to, you know, get eyes on it again. But that would truly be the last chance. After that, they've run out of time. And I'm not one of those people that hopes that games fail. I really am not. I hope that we actually had more games to choose from and more games to succeed, and it was actually more normalized to like be able to jump into random games here and there. Although it feels harder and harder these days, at least in my opinion. But yeah, never heard of a game coming out of release, going back into beta before. But yeah, that's what's up with Splitgate.